'Twas the night before Byleth and talks in a mount, especially over on Push Dustin's account. Hey everyone, happy Byleth Eve, John here with a continuation on Sakurai's interview about Satoru Iwata. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, there's a link in the description below, but this is basically Masahiro Sakurai sitting down with Hobonichi to discuss the late Satoru Iwata. And this part's all about a prototype Sakurai and Iwata made together, and maybe not the one you're thinking of. And of course, as per usual, the translations come from Push Dustin, and there's a link to his Twitter down in the description below. But let's dive in. So basically, after wrapping up on Kirby Superstar, to get an understanding of the N64, Sakurai started working on a variety of prototypes. This began as a solo endeavour, as the rest of the staff finished Kirby. But before writing up any design documents, Sakurai started studying the 3D tools and animation. The first prototype is very famous by now, and it's of course the predecessor to Smash, Dragon King the fighting game. This was a 4-player fighting game using stick figures, and of course became the basis of Smash 64. But this wasn't the only prototype, so more on this one later. The other prototype was an adventure game, with a robot as a main character. Iwata would end up programming both of these prototypes. So this robot main character was described as controlling as something like an RC car. Later on they say a game with a very similar control scheme released with the original Resident Evil. So I guess imagine Resident Evil but with robots, which sounds freaking awesome. Anyway, the robot would explore an underground city. This city is only accessible by drill, meaning the robot's the only one who can access the entire city. The robot would have to hack into cameras, enabling the player to go further into the city and progress further in the game. Unfortunately though, this robot idea was just a prototype and didn't go any further than that. But as we know, the fighting game did. Originally though, both Dragon King and the robot game were one game. So imagine Smash with a lot more Robs. Yeah, like that many. On the weekends, Iwata would work on both of these prototypes. The work was ongoing for a while, but in the end it was decided to focus just on the fighting game and scrap the robot. This is because the fighting game project could be finished sooner, whereas the adventure game would take at least 2 years to finish. The fighting game prototype was very similar to Smash, although special moves were not yet in the game. And that basically wraps up this part of Sakurai remembering Satoru Iwata. Part 3 is going to be about Iwata bringing back Sakurai for Smash Bros. Brawl, and to hear these translations before anyone else, of course follow Push Dustin on Twitter. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and of course be sure to subscribe to GameXplain for a lot more on Smash Bros. Ultimate, and other things gaming too. Until next time, bye. Lith.